Now, some of you may remember we've been having a few problems with our automation, courseplay, and such, and a lot of you in the comments last episode have indicated that it's quite possibly the combine itself, or maybe the header that we're having problems with, the AI. And so we're going to bring this up to the shop. We're going to have them kind of go through the systems and see if we can figure out what's going on. And while this thing's up in the shop, we have gotten access to the TR96. This is an awesome mod by Tired Iron Modding, and so the dealer is kind enough to have this sitting up here on the lot. We are leasing this, so it has cost us a little bit of money, but we're going to take this thing back up to the farm, and we're going to give it a shot for our corn harvest here. We do have the 12-row header option on this. I did do just a little bit of Googling, and it looks like a TR96 should be able to run a 12-row out in the field. So we're going to be taking this thing back up to the farm. Now, I don't have a header trailer, and we really probably should have one for this, but we're going to attempt to sneak through town here. Once we get out onto the main road, I think it's going to be easier, but we're going to attempt to sneak through town here with the 12-row on and see if we can manage to get up to the farm without any incidences. All right, since there is absolutely no way we could get in through our driveway with this big header on, I think what we're gonna do is actually come right down here into our field and open up the first pass of our field right here from the road. So I'm going to get this combine all unfolded here. We've got the nice extenders on our hopper here. I really like that fold animation. That looks cool. And then I think we can just go ahead and fire things off here. I'm going to take this corner out right quick just to give us a little bit of room to maneuver. And then my goal is to just take a single path right on down here to our field, or to our farm, I should say, and really just get us down there so that we can then set up with courseplay to help us out with our harvesting. I want to try that out. The whole point of swapping combines out for today's episode is to give courseplay a try and see how it's going to handle running here with a different combine and a different header. I know this is still a modded combine and header, so we can still run into problems, but I want to give courseplay a fair shake. I've been a little negative on it the last couple of episodes as we struggled with some different things, and this will be at least one step in that process of testing things out and seeing if we can find a combination that's going to work a little bit better. Now, I'm loving my yield monitor over here is showing pretty positive. Everything's getting green compared to the previous year where it was yellow, orange, even red in some areas. It does look like we're going to get a significant uptick in the amount of yield that we've got here, which is awesome. And then just because I'm here, I am going to take this one more swath off the end. Might as well before we get courseplay going here. Now I'm worried courseplay is going to really kind of struggle with this little area right around the bins here, in that, you know, we got to have a course that kind of comes back here and around and does all the things. It is what it is, but I'm sure it'll figure it out. And me harvesting it isn't really going to make the course any less likely to run into things, but I don't know why. I just feel like cutting out this little end part of the field here before we get going on the whole field. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to park it here. This is kind of where I want to start the course. And we're going to go ahead and just set our field. We're going to set our own position. I rotated that in a very goofy way. There we go. And we're going to generate. We've only got one tool. We're going to do 2 headland passes with a 12-row. Should it be good? And I do want to give these sharp corners a try again and see if that was causing our problem or if it's going to work now. And I am going to do lands mode but I'm going to shorten this up to 4. This isn't a very big field, so we'll see how this works. And for whatever reason, it thinks that this is the longest edge and wants to go with the up and down that way. I'm not a huge fan of that. I want to go the other way for whatever reason, so we're going to go ahead and change this and see what the course generated looks like. There we go. I think that's going to look and work out a little bit better for us. So let's go ahead and get started with this. And of course, our starting point is back here. I knew there was a reason that I wanted to clear this out subconsciously. And there it is, folks. So I'm just going to back up here to the start point. We are going to start it at the first point. Go ahead and let this guy get going. And here we go. We're already 37% full, so we are going to have to get the grain cart going and try to keep up with this guy. I do like how it does the sharp corners when you're on these squarish fields. And I'm just going to sit here and follow this guy along until he gets going on a couple of passes here. It looks like we are getting stuck like we were before, so maybe it is this sharp corners mode. So before we get going, I'm going to go ahead and just hit stop on this. I'm going to blow this course away, and we're going to try this one more time. It should have all of my settings here, but instead of the sharp, we're going to do smooth, which is the default here. And we're going to go ahead and take all those defaults. It's essentially the same course, it's just with a different turn mode here. I used the smooth turn mode in the live stream last night with those Case 250s, and we didn't have any problems whatsoever. But here it looks like we're struggling a little bit. I don't know what is going on. Well, I think what we're going to do is just grab onto this guy and see if we can circle around here and just get him started on this outside part. We'll see if he has issues on the other corner here. I'm really disappointed that this is still a problem for us. I was really hoping that swapping out the mod was going to work a little bit better, but this indicates that maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just an issue with the map in the fields, because I haven't been having problems on other maps with Courseplay running here. And if swapping out to a different mod isn't fixing it, I mean, the only other thing I could do is try a piece of base game equipment. But honestly, I'm not really a big fan of most of the base game pieces. So we're going to go ahead and just keep rocking this New Holland for today. And if I have to step in here and do the headland passes myself, we will do that. Moment of truth. Why is he not turning, or why is he turning so late? I don't know, but definitely not working, so that's a shame for sure. We'll go ahead and get him started though, and I'm just gonna have to step in and get involved on all the corners and the turnarounds right now, which is really unfortunate. So while that combine's been going out here on this first pass, we're gonna get the Kubota up and running with the grain cart, see if we can run out here and unload this guy when he gets up to the corner here. Now he is stuck up there because for whatever reason Courseplay is just not going to get along with me here. So we'll jump back up here and once again take over, try and deal with the corners ourselves here. It's I don't know, I'm really frustrated right now with how this is working out. I am probably gonna have to get a piece of base game equipment in here and try it out just to make sure that if it's mods versus map or what's going on, because I'm having a hard time believing that multiple mods, combines, which are, you know, not necessarily straightforward but pretty common, would be having the exact same problem. So I feel like it's either map related or I'm just having some bad luck with a couple of mods. I don't know, but we're gonna try and figure that out off camera. I will be digging into this and reporting back out to you guys. Taking a screenshot. I'm liking how this looks. Got the dust coming off of the top. That's that golden color compared to the smoke and the chaff. This is a nicely done combine as well. I'm loving that we've got so many older options here to play around with for sure. So we're gonna keep trucking on this. I'm almost full now. I'm at 91%. I was really hoping to get to the other corner here. I don't think I can even make it all the way down the driveway here with the amount left in our hopper, but we're gonna try it because we're feeling a little brave today. And hopefully I can get to this grass area at the end and stick my auger out so we can get unloaded. That would be the most convenient thing. Oh, it looks like we're just gonna make it 98% perfect. So if I can get turned in here without wrapping myself up in this tree, we'll be in a perfect spot to dump our hopper into the grain cart here. Look at that. Make a quick U-turn here in front of the house. Hopefully not drive on the lawn too much. And there we go. I could have been just a smidge closer, I suppose, but it looks like this is working now. My hope is to get enough out of the hopper just to make the turn here. We're going to get a worker going, and then I'm going to unload on the go. And so I suppose that's the other thing that we can really do is once I get all the headlands off, we don't need to use course play. We can just use a standard hired helper here to run the combine up and down on these long rows. It's not optimal. I was really hoping to be able to use course play, but I'm over it. Our fields are pretty straightforward once you get the headlands off, so no need to really stress ourselves out about it per se. Now, there's not a lot of field here to run down with. And so I think what we're going to do is just unload as much as we can before we run into our bins here. Don't want to do any long-term damage. And then I'm going to take it back over here from this hired worker, and we're going to just clean this corner out, take our headland passes off, and get to a point where we can start doing up and down rows. I think that's really the plan. Course play, you failed me. You're going away. It is what it is. And I'm just going to keep cutting through right here to the end. And that's going to leave me with some room to get this corner piece out like I had started on my own anyway. Sometimes things just don't go according to plan, and you've got to knock them out yourself. I'm noticing this head is really shifting back and forth quite a bit, more than I would have expected. I'm gonna start let the helper work on the headland pass here, and we're gonna come up here and we're gonna try and unload even on the headlands because we're getting full mighty fast. I think we won't be able to completely empty this combine out until we're going down the long rows here, but we might as well try and get a little bit out of him here before we get there. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to finish the headland pass. We're getting quite a good amount of corn off of our fields here so far, especially for the headlands. So I'm starting to feel more confident about feeding our hogs, but I do need to get that feed mill replaced here somewhere, and so I've got to get on that very soon. I think what we're going to do is as soon as this guy is at 50% here, I'm going to go ahead and stop the worker. We're going to take the long rows here. And I'm going to start him back off as a worker on the long rows, and we'll unload him on the way down to the other headland pass. And this field, the field isn't nearly as long as some of the other stuff that we've done. And so I feel like by the time I switch machines and catch up to the combine, we're already halfway down the field. There's not a lot of time to unload. This is the other reason that I kind of wanted the horseplay driver to be running the grain cart, just so that it could stay on things the whole time while we go and get the truck ready or do some other stuff. But alas, the fun of corn harvest is that you do get quite a bit of volume of crop, and so it's going to keep us pretty busy here. As we're going through the field, there's not going to be a lot of sitting around, which I actually prefer. That's why corn harvest is probably one of my funnest activities in farming. And we've almost got this grain cart filled up. We're at 93%, 94%, so I think we've got enough to top off the hopper on the truck. I am going to let this worker finish doing its crazy backup maneuver, just so we don't run over the crops and get those destroyed. But I do want to finish taking the headland pass off with him before we let the worker start working from one end of the field to the other. Simply because I don't think we've got enough room to turn around with just 12 rows off of the end. I do think we're going to need the full 24 rows over here to avoid going up on that grass embankment, getting entangled with cars, etc. So we'll just run it off real quick here, and that'll have both ends off. And then I'm just going to start the worker from the corner that we've got the grain cart in right now, I think, and work towards the farm. That'll be the easiest method, I believe. And really, this field's not going to take us that long. I'm loving our yield map down there in the lower left-hand corner from Precision Farming. In fact, if we pop open the bigger map, you can see we're getting some really good yield down in this half of the farm. So I can't wait to see what our total bushels brought in are. And of course, looking at the map, now we've got a missed row over here. My goodness. We'll go ahead and just pick this up right quick. And I know I said I was going to start from the other side, but maybe I'm going to go ahead and let the worker take these super short rows out first. Just give me a minute to get everything settled. I was originally wondering, like, oh, maybe we should just put this corn in one of our bins for the time being. But the more I think about it, no, we are going to need to get this stuff into the feed mill as fast as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring this truck right out here onto the headlands. And we're going to get it filled up so that we can take this up to town and try and get our feed mill structure built back up again in town there. And see if we can start cranking out hog feed again, because our hogs are hungry. And we'll just jump over here into the Kubota, get it run up here, and we're probably going to need to start worrying about unloading that combine again soon. It's been just a moment. I guess it's on the shorter rows, so it's not making a ton of progress here, as it spends quite a bit of time turning around with the shorter rows, but I do know this corn adds up fast. Looks like he might be done with the short rows and running down to take a long row pass now. We've got the front hopper on the truck all topped off. Let's top off the back. And of course, the combine's auger's going to be on the inside by the corn here now. So I'm really hoping, since it's taken a half row back, it looks like, to catch up with these shorter rows, that it doesn't fill up on the way back here and we can get him unloaded on the drive back down. So I'm just going to park the grain cart here out of the way, and we'll wait for this combine to get up here. Here it comes, and it doesn't look as full as I thought it would be. I guess we could hop in the cab over here with this guy real quick while he's turning around. We're about 58%. Not as full as I thought we'd be. That's all right. We don't unload nearly as fast as that gleaner did. And so we're going to go ahead and unload on the go on the way down here. I think it'll probably take the entire pass to dump what's in the combine here. hopefully this will be enough to top off the back trailer there on the grain truck, because I really want to get that hog feed moving. It looks like we're coming down to the last few scraps of corn there in the hopper. So we've just nearly perfectly timed this. There's just a handful of bushels left. It looks like that it's dumping out here at the end. And there we go. Combine's good to go. I'm going to run this back up to the grain truck, see if we can top off that back hopper. And even if we can't, I think it's time to go figure out what we're going to do about replacing that hog feed mill. I've got another location in mind that might work, although it's just such a large structure. I would love to come up with another building to do the same thing that's a little bit smaller, maybe something that we could have on the farm. I just have not had a time to locate an appropriate model or mod to convert over for that function yet. So I know I've talked about it in a number of episodes here over the series, but time being what it is my scarcest resource. And it looks like we didn't quite top off the grain truck. That's all right. Let's hop out here. I'm going to hop into construction mode. We're going to come in to productions. I'm going to scroll out to the back here. Man, look at the size of this feed mill. So I have thought about buying the neighbor's field and just tossing this thing in right here. But we're not going to do that. That would be maybe a little bit ridiculous. So I'm going to come back over here where we had it before. I'm still a little bitter. We did all that awesome landscaping here, had a really nice setup, but because we didn't own the field, it gets wiped out every time the contracts come by. I was thinking maybe that I could get it in here somewhere, but there's not enough room with the way the railway station works. And all of this is off of the map technically. So yeah, at the end of the day, we're going to have to buy a field in order to do anything with this now. So rather than look at it in the buy menu, I'm going to go ahead and just fly out here. My original thought was, you know, this was a perfect spot for it. We could just purchase field 27 and have that be owned, build everything out, and then I could actually use field 27 as like my cornfield to feed this. Field 27 is pretty big though. And I don't know, I was thinking maybe I could put it back over here and attach it to the other co-op as well. That might work out. Field 26 has actually not got any crops on it right now, so I'd feel a little less guilty about that. And it's probably a little bit cheaper. We'd need 1.3 million in order to do that. It's actually more expensive than Field 7. We'd need $1 million here to buy Field 7. I don't want to own the field. I was kind of hoping to find another way around this. And so I don't know. I'm just not sure where I'm going to put that. I got to do some work. And so since I need to buy some land and the feed mill itself is like $600,000 to get that place back on the map, I think what I might do is fire up this game as multiplayer next time. And I'm going to try and buy that land under another farm probably. And we'll just get things going. I'll rebuild that. I'll landscape it. I'll own it so that it doesn't have any of the problems that we've been running into with not owning the land. And I'll just get this all solved in the next episode. Maybe we'll do an episode of me rebuilding that. I know people like to see landscaping and building type videos from time to time. So maybe we'll do a new build for the feed mill as a one-off video next time and just focus completely on that. I think for today, I want to just wrap up harvesting this field. I don't know if I'm going to get it all done, but between what I can still put into the back of the truck and filling up this grain cart one more time and filling up the combine, we might just make it through this field. So I think instead of continuing to fumble around with figuring out what to do with the feed mill right this minute, I'm going to focus on getting this first field knocked out Next episode, we'll focus on the feed mill, and then we'll go over here and jump into our larger cornfield for harvest and just kind of pace things out that way. I think it's going to work out a little bit better. We're only about halfway full here, but I know we've got enough to fill up that trailer now, and we need to be back on the other end of the field here anyway to follow this combine back down as it fills up. So let's get to it. Let's make that happen and see if my estimation skills are anywhere near accurate. I'm looking at how many rows are left in this field and thinking that I'm optimistic if I think we can get all of this done way before we run out of space. We may even have to switch the auger over into the other bin and just put it in the bin temporarily if I do want to keep going on this. We'll see. Because there's the truck full, and I'm still got 200 plus bushels in the grain cart. I guess that's worth a few passes with the combine here. I am going to have to move things out of the way a little bit so that as the combine starts turning around in a round or two here, it's not running into the truck or the grain cart. So I'm just going to get this guy spun back around into a good waiting position here. And we fill up about 23% on a single pass. So that means every round is going to be just under half. So he'll be half when he gets to the other end here, and he'd be full after one more full round. So that's pretty good. That means that I've got a couple rounds to take care of things up here. And I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get this guy turned around so that we can actually get him out of the farm when the time comes. I don't want to try and climb that ditch. I think that'd be a bit steep while we're fully loaded here. We'll run this back down and use the driveway when the time comes. Checking in here on our precision farming, you can see the really good soil we've got down here has resulted in really good yields through this area. So I'm very, very happy with how our field yielded down here. And if we bounce back here, you can see our environmental score on this field is actually doing quite well, except for whatever this middle bar is, which was weed control, apparently. That's probably because we did spray herbicide, I think, on that field. I don't actually recall now. But either way, that's the one that we're getting docked for the most. Nitrogen's a little bit off as well. I think that might be a result of how the nitrogen is a little bit lower now than it was. If we look at field 65, or field 1, you can see we got a score of 65. So quite a few of these things are on the low end, and I think that's because it's measured on a full cycle basis. And this field was fallow, if I remember right, when we started last year. So this is the first year we're going to have a crop on this field. And so I should expect those numbers to raise as we start harvesting in that field. And that should raise our overall environmental score for the farm. But we'll see how it goes. Right now, though, I'm just excited to see a good amount of yield coming. And oh my goodness, we are getting full here. So we've been talking, and I missed our chance to unload on the go. So we better jump into the Kubota here and see if we can race down to the end of the field and at least catch this guy before he gets to the end and turns around. The bad part about using the standard hire worker is that it's just going to turn right back into this row right away. So we don't want that to happen. In fact, maybe if we can get just a little bit unloaded. Oh, we didn't quite catch him. All right. I was going to say if we could get a little bit unloaded, then I could take over and we could unload on the go on the other side over here. So we're going to try that. I'm going to just get this guy skipped over to the outside. That way his auger's facing in a convenient way for me. And we'll unload him on the way back down. Missing those two stalks here on the corner is going to irk me. I think I'm just going to run them over so I don't have to look at them. Oh, we don't have crop destruction on right now, apparently. I must have turned that off at some point for some reason. We didn't quite catch this guy to unload on the go, and so he's just sitting here. I think we got enough now. I'm going to pull forward. Let's see if the worker will get started again. Apparently no. So I'm going to restart the worker. And we should be able to start unloading on the go now. There we go. Much better, much better. Just want to keep things moving. At this point, the limiting factor is making sure the combine doesn't have to stop for any reasons it doesn't need to. I think I'm feeling more confident on our estimates too. We're only at half of the grain cart here full, and I know I can make 2 full rounds before I fill up the hopper on the combine in this half of the field. At least we're getting a little bit less yield up here than we were on the other half, so I think we're going to be able to get this all into the grain cart, maybe have a little bit left in the combine when we're done, but we're definitely going to be able to finish off the field here. I think I'm going to let him go and do a pass, and we'll just unload him on the next round up again to top off the grain cart. He should have enough out of him to make it all the way back down to the end of the field here. We're going to find out in just a minute, though. Oh, yeah, he's only at 50% right now, so I'm feeling good about this. We've only got maybe 2 more rounds left after this, maybe a round and a half before we've got everything off of this field. I will be curious to add up and see how many total bushels of corn came out of this field when we're all said and done here. We're going to hop out and try and be ready to go with the grain cart this time. Not letting him get halfway down the field before we start the unloading process, just because it does take a minute. We keep bumping the header here with our dual. This unload pipe is not that long, so I always feel like I've got to crowd over a little bit more than I probably should. Oh, our speed sync didn't engage there like I was expecting it to. Alright, so the grain cart is going to get full on this pass. It looks like we're doing good. We're 90% already. We'll be full before we get to the end. So that leaves us with the real question of, can the combine hold enough on this last round to get finished? I think it can, but we'll jump over here into the combine in just a minute and take a look and see how full he is on the way back down. I do want to get this grain cart out of the way, back over here. We'll probably put it right here in the corner near where the grain truck is, just to keep all of our stuff in one spot out of the way. And yeah, it looks like we've got a little bit more than a round, so a round and a half left. We're at 42%. I don't know, it's gonna be close because one round is right at just under 50%, if I remember right. It was like 46, 47%. So we've got a round and then a little extra. It's gonna be so close. We're probably not gonna finish, but we will be on the final pass when we get full here. So I'm gonna let this guy go, and we'll check in here as we get around the round, just because I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I know you got to be as curious as I am if we're gonna end up getting all of this corn into the hopper. Our end row check-in, 66% full. Let's see how we do on this last round. Looks like we're gonna have 4 rows left over here on the side. We've gone from 66 to 89%. On a full 12 rows, so that's what, 23% on a pass, and now we've got 4 rows left, which should be about a third of that. I don't know. It's gonna be close. We might just eke out, though. We might just eke it out. Let's find out here, folks. I don't know why I get such a kick out of playing these math games in my head around, you know, how soon we're going to get full and will there be space and so on and so forth. So I do apologize if I keep going on and on about it, but you gotta find your measurement points, I feel like, for different things when you're playing games like this, and set yourself with little mini goals and objectives to kind of break things up in my mind. And I'm actually loving this combine. I used this in FS19 quite a bit back in the day on my Westby series, I believe. It's just a really nice mod that was put together by Tired Iron Modding. I don't know if we're going to keep using it. It was just something different to test out some of the issues with Courseplay today. I need to do a more comprehensive test of things, though, it would appear. And look at that, 96%. So we're all full up. The combine's full, the grain cart's full, and the truck is full, but we've managed to get this field finished up. So I think this is going to be a great place to wrap up today's episode. We'll be jumping into getting the feed mill figured out, building that out somewhere on the map here, and I don't know, just sorting that out, and then maybe even hauling the feed up to that. We'll see. I might decide to keep those things separate. We might just do a purely a build video, and then we'll come back into gameplay in the video after that. We'll see. Either way, though, we got our field knocked out, which was the objective for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, drop a like. That's all for today. Kedrick out. Oh, it's wide enough. I just can't steer. Whoa, buddy. Oh, boxed in. Just trying to turn around.